ELD with Brainstorm MTG back with another legacy match filmed at Scholars Games. And we've got Sneak and Show versus a rather underplayed deck right now in Legacy in Merfolk. We actually saw Merfolk do pretty well in one of our matches from the monthly event, running some unusual cards like Smuggler's Copter and Harbinger of the Tides. But we'll see what Kyle has sleeved up here. He is a Merfolk player in multiple formats, I believe Standard and Modern as well. I think he has separate fish decks for each format. In Legacy in the past, he has tried a bunch of different things, so we'll see what he's on here, if it's traditional mono blue or if he's venturing into green. We do see a Cavern of Souls, which of course is so good for splashing. And Mutavault into Aether Vial. Pretty reasonable opening for that deck. And a Volcanic Island for Sneak and Show. Vial ticking up on 1. And there is a Silvergill revealing Lord of Atlantis. Merfolk well on its way. So no end step action there. We've got Impulse and Preordain available. That 1 mana, the 1 counter on Aether Vial, putting in Curse Catcher. Such an important card for the deck. Buying just that little bit of valuable time. Looks like standing up a Mutavault, and I can expect a Lord of Atlantis coming in here shortly. And all of a sudden, quite a clock here. Looks like potentially threatening lethal next turn. So 1 more land, and it could literally be lethal damage. Very dangerous situation here. City of Traders being sacrificed to that Scalding Tarn's trigger. And Show and Tell, here we go. And Sneak Attack being revealed. Oh, this is spicy. True Name comes in. But we're going to see 6 permanents go bye-bye here. Of course, Merfolk not doing any damage to itself with its mana base, so still have 5 life to play with. And it looks like Aether Vial and True Name sticking around. Now that Impulse had found a Force of Will, I believe. But really what we're going to need from here is some digging. Aether Vial drawn, 1 card in hand. If that's a Lord, not going to have a lot of time here. So there's Preordain or Cunning Wish. You can play a land and Cunning Wish for a card like Intuition. If a land is drawn the next turn, then that would be good enough. So Preordain whiffs 2. There's a pass, and there's the Master of the Pearl Trident. So 6 damage down to just 2. Force of Will gonna get shut off here. And there's Omniscience. So it looks like this is gonna be game here. That Preordain absolutely needing to hit something. Looks like the safer route would have been the Cunning Wish for Intuition and then hope to draw a land. It would have actually been a Lotus Petal on top of the deck, which would have got there. And there's the Curse Catcher to shut it all down. And there you go. Emrakul connects 6 permanent sacrificed and just not good enough there in game 1. A lot of possible options here from the sideboard, many of them not really good enough. Through the Breach and Boseiju are definitely considerations. Most of the creature removal in the sideboard not going to be good enough versus Merfolk. They have to have exactly 1 Lord for a Kozilek's return to really do the job. So multiple Lords completely bury you. It does not handle True Name Nemesis, which is one of the larger threats. Though it is slow for the Sneak and Show matchup. Much better versus a deck like Check Pile, which is going to need multiple attack steps in order to beat you. True Name, in a lot of ways, does end up functioning just as a Grey Ogre. Slightly larger than a Grey Ogre. These segments here now run at double speed, trying to keep the legacy action coming fast and furious. Kyle really making sure he's all shuffled up, and we should be good to go momentarily. All shot at Scholars Games. This is actually part of our Wednesday night series. We play every Wednesday at 7:30, and it's typically 4 rounds. We actually don't go past 4, even if we get 20, 25 people. They'll cap it at 4 rounds to make sure everybody can get home at a reasonable hour. And City of Traders Lotus Petal Show and Tell. That is forced. And force pitching Cunning Wish. And that puts in Omniscience. And just an island from Kyle. Another island coming down into Chalice at 1. That is going to brick a lot of the cards that could come off the top of the deck here. Losing that City of Traders to play a Scalding Tarn. And Cunning Wish. So Flusterstorm, not going to counter, going to be able to pay 2. Actually, pay 1 because of his own Chalice. And should be all set from here. A couple of options. Could just grab Emrakul and cast it. Looks like Firemind's Foresight is actually going to be grabbed here, and that's going to allow for another Cunning Wish. So basically just picking up an Impulse and a Brainstorm. Of course, that Chalice will come off the board once Emrakul swings, so nothing wrong with having another Brainstorm in hand. Cunning Wish is going to grab Eladmari's Call, which will just grab either Emrakul or Gristlebrand. Either one's totally fine. Actually just going to grab Emrakul for the extra turn. And an Impulse. Showing some Force of Wills and Omniscience. Casting another Omniscience. Now Brainstorm back online. And that's going to do it. Just a Cavern and an Aether Vial in hand. So that is a real reason to play this deck. That was a turn 1 Omniscience. Of course, it would have been a turn 1 win if it were not for Kyle's Force of Will. But even with the Force, had a Force to pitch back, losing that Intuition. And it is on to game 3 here. while the shuffling's happening here, go ahead and say thank you to Scholars for continuing to support my favorite formats. Really anything where you can run Brainstorm. Vintage, Legacy, Commander. I'll jam some Pauper. They are actually doing modern FNMs now for any of you players that enjoy modern or in the Brockton area. It's actually the Bridgewater line. Just over the border into Brockton, next to the post office. Beautiful play space. Wide selection of singles. And I'm there every Wednesday night as well. If you're ever looking for any cards for any Eternal formats, I've got you covered. And there you go. Little birthday gift coming in. It was actually my birthday the day of this tournament. Actually from Pat Broderick. He does a lot of work with shop in Quincy, Goblins and Games, perhaps. He's been doing a lot of work there with Magic and Pokemon. And there we go, Ponder off of Volcanic, Basic Island on Kyle's side. Kind of a slow start. Usually wants that Aether Vial to get going. But it looks like he's got a Curse Catcher. And getting a little crazy here, perhaps? Gonna bait? No, okay. Thought we might be baiting a Curse Catcher. And there is a 4-mana option here. We've got Show and Tell and Sneak Attack. Looks like just gonna jam a Show and Tell in here. And that is gonna get a Force Pitching Silvergill Adept. Now that was the only other blue card in hand. Now Curse Catcher a 2/2 thanks to Lord of Atlantis, Kyle Hellbent. Got some mana floating here. And Sneak Attack. Crack Lotus Petal, Emrakul. And that is a one-sided Armageddon there. So 2 mana and Sneak Attack on board. Kyle rips a Cavern of Souls, which is pretty reasonable here. I mean, that's going to at least make his stuff uncounterable. And at this point, really just need another creature. Mutavault, so now a clock assembling. 3 damage on board. City of Traders coming. So now it's a couple of fetch lands added, so plenty of mana, some counter spells in hand, and now Master of the Pearl Trident. And this is quickly turning into a very real clock here. We got 6 damage. We got just 3 turns to find a creature. And now after that fetch, it looks like just 1 turn. It is now or never. So a singleton fetch draws a Lotus Petal for turn, and that's actually going to do it. Rebuilding from 0, Merfolk comes back after getting hit with an Emrakul. All right, well, there's some resiliency for you. Well, I hope you enjoyed this one, and we'll be back real soon with some more Legacy. So thanks for watching. You made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching. If you want to help the channel, you can click like or subscribe, or you can check out some of our other videos covering Magic's most powerful formats. Thanks for watching.